Okay. So this is my first time making a YouTube video straight off my phone, so if it looks a little choppy, you'll get over it. But my logic behind what makes a girl a hoe, or at least anybody a hoe, it's not necessarily about the number. Everybody wants to say they had sex with a whole bunch of people that makes them a hoe. Not necessarily. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a hoe. I actually am very picky about who I sleep with, which I feel everybody should be to some extent, depending on how you logically like to think about things. But my feeling about what makes a person a hoe, it's about their mindset about it. Excuse me. Sorry. But yeah. It's about their mindset about it. You can have sex with 5 people in one day and be 23 years old. At the end of the day, you're 23 years old and you've only had sex with 5 people. To a lot of people, that doesn't mean you're a hoe. But no one understands the fact that you just sat there and lost your virginity to having a train in a room and you just wanted to pop off and let your body be used to everybody. That is hoe-like activity. But it's all about the mindset. There's some people, especially a lot of females nowadays, who are very, what's the word, emotional? Yeah. And very clingy and very into this whole idea of what they really want. Society is really screwed up nowadays. And on top of that, there's not a real thing as chivalry anymore. People can say that there is, but it's a very, very thin line exactly what chivalry is nowadays. And it's pretty much lost its main meaning. Girls are told that if you have a fat ass and wear little to no clothing and you can twerk, then that means you're wifey material. When in actuality, you're not. That's just ridiculous. Don't get me wrong, I can twerk. And I like to twerk. And I've worn mini skirts and things of that nature. But the way society is redefined how women are supposed to think about themselves, it's very confusing to have a girl understand what they want and be able to also achieve it at the same time when it comes to relationships, especially in the Hispanic and African American culture. Guys are known to sit here and talk about how they get all these hoes and blah blah blah, and being real in a relationship ain't shit. Well, girls nowadays are just told to just say fuck it and do whatever they want to do. Therein lies my issue about the mindset. With the mindset, if you are a girl and you just are so into the idea of wanting to have a boyfriend, which a lot of girls nowadays are, especially around the age between 15 to about 22. High school and college, around that age, very susceptible to wanting the fairy tale idea. So girls will sit there and think a guy really likes them because he pretty much sold them a dream and text them a couple of things and yada yada yada. Now they think they talking. So girls will have sex with them. But they're not boyfriend and girlfriend. There's no type of commitment. And then after about 3-4 weeks, when you realize that nigga doesn't give a shit about you and you are just a stat to him, you turn around, you move on. You go on talking to the next person. Now imagine you doing that every freaking month. In 1 year, you have just had sex with 12 people. But in actuality, you really just want to be with one person. You just can't figure out when to sit there and be with that person or who to figure out who you're supposed to be with and yada yada. So the mindset is actually you want to be committed. But you're not giving enough time or thought process to it to really make the right decisions. Then again, there are also girls who, don't give a shit and they'll fuck whoever they want. It's all about your mindset. You can have 50 stats by the age of 25. But in actuality, if you thought about 40 of those are people who really cared about you and you just gave it up to them because you thought it was a real thing, one, you're very naive, but your mind was in the right place. You just don't know the proper steps to being able to find out the truth before you actually give up your truth. And, it's kind of the same thing for guys as well. Because a lot of guys talk that big game about how they want to be with all these bitches and everything. But in actuality, a lot of them really want to be in relationships. They just don't know how to freaking say that to their boys without looking like some punks. So, my main statement about what makes you a hoe and the logic behind everything is all about your mindset. If your mind is really trying to be in a faithful relationship, you just don't have all the right skills to really get you there. And just take a step back and think about what you really want and what you actually have. Having sex is not the biggest thing in the world. Trust me. It'll really disappoint you when the shit's actually whack. That's my logic.